We just got a big lore update. I swear every time I drop a video on some lore, we get another one right after. But I'm not complaining. This time we got some lore on Vyse, Omen, Viper, and the Mirrorverse all in one update, so very exciting stuff. The lore updates that we got are mostly in the form of new voice lines, so I'm going to play them for you and then kind of explain what's going on, to refresh your memory or if you're new to this, to understand what it means. I'm going to start off with Omen's lore as it pertains to Viper.
You can relax, Sabine. I gain nothing from killing you now. Attend to the present, not the past. I've made my peace with our Viper. I cannot say the same for theirs. She will learn to fear me.
Alright, so what the heck is going on here? Basically, a while ago, Valorant released the Reckoning cinematic, which unfolded a lot of the events that are still going on to this day. While Omen was trapped under a machine of some sort by one of the Hourglass leaders, he began to remember his past. In these flashbacks, he remembered that he was ordered to kill Viper during the time he used to work for the Hourglass.
Shrouded Step was a simple directive. Kill. You were our most talented asset. Who better to safeguard our secrets? To keep the discovery of Radionite from a world that wasn't ready.
The flashbacks reveal that he failed to kill Viper and instead Viper locked him inside a chamber and seemingly turned him into a phantom. Enraged with this new knowledge of his past, Omen became extremely agitated not just at the fact that it was Viper who turned him into the phantom figure that he is now, but that she knew all this time and never told him. This resulted in a super angry voicemail from Omen to Brimstone and him leaving the protocol for a while to take a break and collect his thoughts.
She knew who I was this whole time. She knew so much more than me. Why didn't she tell me? Why couldn't she help? Does she think that I'm some kind of monster? I will speak with her soon. But now I need more time. Brimstone, just know this. I am not my past.
While on this break, he was out searching for more answers at another Hourglass base where he met Clove, eventually uncovering the map Abyss. Ever since then, Omen hadn't actually officially returned to the protocol. Until now. With Omen and a few others coming across Vyse, Omen decided to take her in for questioning as well as make amends with Viper by offering to speak with her. And it looks like it all went well. We have Vyse who joined the protocol and she seems to be quite fond of Omen. And Omen with his new voice line sounds like he doesn't want to harm Viper and they're kind of friends again. We also have an email from Neon who tells Brimstone that she spotted Omen at their base and was surprised. It looks like Neon has heard about the big downfall between Omen and Viper and she was wondering if he's actually back or not and what happened between them. While we don't have any more specific details on their situation, all we know for certain is that Omen has returned to the protocol and seems to have befriended Viper once again, despite knowing what had happened between them in the past. Could it be possible that he may hold a secret grudge against her? Yes, I think so. We could also see him coming back to this in the future if he ever gets any more flashbacks of his past again, triggering his anger of his appearance and constant pain that he's in. I think it's really cool that we got Neon to send that email because it tells us that the protocol are aware of their situation, but at the same time they aren't being constantly updated on these things. So it tells us that Omen never really made a formal announcement or anything, he kind of just popped back in. Before moving on from Omen, I just want to put in his voicemail to ISO because this was amazing.
ISO, I owe you a great debt. Would you be opposed to receiving a hand-knit sweater?
It looks like Omen actually does have some knitting skills, and these skills transcend him being able to knit an octopus. He can actually knit sweaters too. This was a pretty funny voice line. I hope we get more like these in the future. Alright, now on to Vyse. One voice line that I want to highlight here that I'm not seeing many people talk about is this one.
Omen, the Scion spoke of you often. Is it true you once killed a man with a tree branch?
It sounds like a funny voice line at first, but we gotta understand what this voice line implies. Vyse here is telling Omen that the Scion spoke of him often. This basically reveals two things to us. One, that Vyse and the Scions communicated directly on several occasions, or that Vyse overheard the Scion speaking on several occasions. And two, that Vyse may very well have information on Omen's past. Especially if she communicated with the Scions about him because Omen used to work for them, so they must know a great deal about him and could have possibly shared that with Vyse. I'm thinking that one of the reasons that Omen is trying to get so close to Vyse is for the purpose of trying to get information out of her on his past. because as it stands, she's been closer to the Scions than anyone else in the protocol in recent times, so she must have a lot of fresh information, and some of that information could be about him. And now on to the voicemail left by Vyse to Brimstone. In my last video, I mentioned that Vyse was most likely a botanist working for Kingdom, studying plants and whatnot. I'm not going to scrap that, but now we have a lot more information on what Vyse did in her past, which is much more relevant to the protocol than just studying plants.
For some reason, your failing to answer your phone does not surprise me. Let's hope this isn't a precedent you continue to cement. I finished reading through Valorant's interversal documentation, and your research is borderline amateur. Your findings on seismic fluctuations, isotope decay, even organic substrates are all objectively wrong. My team and I had a more comprehensive understanding in all these fields over a decade ago. Has there been no more work done? This is one of the most intriguing fields of scientific research, and all I see from this team, your team, is apathy and atrophy. I will spearhead this project. I will teach you all about my work, and you will thank me.
Alright, first of all, we need to figure out what Vyse has against our boy Brimstone because she has been hating on this guy since day one. Considering the two of them worked for Kingdom, I wonder if they may have had a history at some point that hasn't been revealed yet. Either way, we know that Vyse seems to dislike Brimstone and finds him kind of useless to the team, and believes that she should be the one leading. What this voicemail tells us is that Vyse is rather a smart scientist. The smartest scientists that we currently have on the team are Viper and Killjoy, and with Vyse being added on, it's hard to say right now how she compares to the two of them, as we already know that Killjoy is borderline genius, even though Vyse disagrees with her choice of wearing yellow on the battlefield. But either way, Vyse claims to have a much more comprehensive understanding of these fields when she worked for Kingdom and had her own team. And I also like how we're given a timeline on this, with her saying that it was over a decade ago. She goes on to say that she'll take over this project and teach the team about her work, whether they like it or not. Given how far the protocol have gotten with supposedly wrong information on certain things, I think with Vyse being added to the team, we may get a lot more progression with Valorant's Mirrorverse lore. We know that Valorant Legion, which is the Valorant team on Omega Earth, continues to attack Alpha Earth in order to steal Radianite to save their own planet. And now the Valorant protocol have begun to travel to Omega Earth themselves and attack back, but they are rather limited and don't have the same sophisticated technology that they do. And based off the recent lore cinematic for Valorant's console launch, we know that the Valorant Legion are currently attacking Alpha Earth in several different parts of the world at once. So with all of that still going on, we'll have to see how Vyse can make an impact on the team. Vyse even has a voice line directed towards KO which tells us that she studied robotics before. To what extent she studied it, we're not too sure, but it is a cool piece of information that we have about her. It could even be related to how her body is pretty much made entirely of metal, and her powers all involve metal as well, despite having characteristics of plants.
I studied robotics for a time, but I've never seen anything like you, KO. Remarkable.
That's basically it for the lore update in Valorant. I hope you guys were able to follow along. I know it can get a little confusing at times, but this is where my other videos come handy. If you want to hear the entire lore of Omen and the Mirrorverse, just check out the description of this video where I'll have links for them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future lore videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.